And so we begin, as we always do, taking a few minutes on these Wednesday night calls to begin simply by becoming present. We close our eyes, turning away from the stimulation of the external world, and we welcome our attention inward. We awaken our inner awareness, our attention to the detail that we cannot see, but we can know. And we begin by simply allowing our mind's eye, our consciousness to become aware of our physical body. Taking a deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. And a third breath in, holding it, and exhaling. As we exhale, becoming more and more aware of your physical body and any area that may feel tight or tense. Forcing nothing, just welcoming relaxation, welcoming peace, welcoming release. If we do nothing more in this moment than to recognize where we feel tight and simply send love to that area, we have done more than enough. And so we take another deep breath in and exhale our attention to our mind, to our thinking capacity. And we breathe and simply become aware of what we are thinking, attempting to simply let go and allow the thoughts to be, as opposed to stopping them or forcing a certain thought. Just allow the mind to think, but see if you can almost step away from holding on to those thoughts and just watch them for a moment. Breathing in again. We exhale and invite our attention to move from our mind to our heart space, to our feelings and emotions. And just as we became aware of our thoughts, we become aware of our emotions. Are we angry? Are we sad, confused, happy, joyful? There's no right or wrong feeling to have. Just simply honor what you are feeling by observing it. Breathing in again. We exhale our attention now deep to what I like to call the energetic body. Imagine, if you will, that your body is vibrating always at a frequency that moves in and out of alignment with the energy field around it, known as your family, your work, your life, your universe, your planet, your solar system, whatever, however expansive you want to get. But just recognize that you are always vibrating, that your cells are vibrating, your skin, even though it appears to be still, is vibrating at a certain frequency. Just become aware of the energy that you are and how it is in relationship to life. itself. And we take another deep breath in and out, allowing our attention to drop into what I like to call the spiritual body. That essence of who we are that is no singular place or space, it is everywhere. The love that is indivisible, the creativity that is indivisible, the freedom that is indivisible, those non-dual qualities of life that simply are, and that indwell with you as your spirit. Become aware of that within you for a few seconds. What I know to be true is there is something that moves up and down in direction that allows us to bear witness to all of who we are. The thing that is allowing you to observe your body without your eyes being open, the thing that allows you to almost see your thoughts, the thing that allows you to observe your emotions without being consumed by them, the thing within you that allows you to move into that very subtle yet powerful place of energy and spirit. This is what I like to call consciousness. This is what many call the mind of God. This is what some call universal intelligence. It is something that is everywhere, that truly cannot be named one thing, but is named many things. It is the allness of life. And this allness of life indwells in me, and it indwells in you, and indwells in everyone on this planet. We are all living expressions of grace, of good, of God, of light, of love, of laughter, of joy, of possibility, of creativity. We are one with it, and it is one with us. So let us, from that place of oneness, move into our meditation tonight, blessing this time as a sacred time for us to reconnect to ourselves, to draw in our attention to the simplicity of who we are. Beautiful animals of creativity and creation. And so let us anchor our time by listening for a few seconds, a few minutes to the answer to this question. What is your personal intention for being on this call tonight, for listening to this call? What is it that you might be seeking? Is it some peace, some stillness, some energy? What is your intention for being on this call? And so let us breathe these intentions in even deeper. And so we take the next 2 minutes or so to sit in silence and allow these intentions to be with us, to have their way with us. Let us let go of control and just simply welcome guidance, wisdom, and stillness. I invite you to take a deep breath in and continue to stay in a soft, still space. I'd like to offer some words for contemplation this evening and the rest of our time together. And it is in relationship to the shootings that took place in Charleston a week ago. There was many responses and outpourings and outcryings and anger and frustration that revealed, and they were all right, all okay, all justified to feel those things. But I wanted to share with you something that really struck my heart. It came from one of my mentors, the spiritual leader or director of the organization that I have my ministerial license and training through, an organization called the Centers for Spiritual Living. And Dr. Ken Gordon has been the acting leader, spiritual leader of that community for the past few years, and offered these words that were not his own, but I think very powerful to contemplate during this time. These were words from Robert F. Kennedy, a statement that he made after the killing of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The speech became known as the mindless menace of violence. And I think these words, over 40 years old, are still just as poignant and powerful today. And so just allow yourself to be read to, if you will, go into that space of almost childlike listening, where just allow these words to wash over you, and we'll move into the silence as we contemplate them. Robert F. Kennedy spoke, "Whenever any American's life is taken by another American unnecessarily, whether it is done in the name of the law or in defiance of law, by one man or a gang in cold blood or in passion, in an attack of violence or in response to violence, whenever we tear at the fabric of life which another man or woman has painfully and clumsily woven for himself and their children, the whole nation is degraded. Yet we seemingly tolerate a rising level of violence that ignores our common humanity and our claims to civilization alike. We calmly accept newspaper reports of civilian slaughter in far-off lands. We glorify killing on movie and television screens and call it entertainment. We make it easy for men of all shades of sanity to acquire weapons and ammunition they desire. Too often, we honor swagger and bluster and the wielders of force. Too often, we excuse those who are willing to build their own lives on the shattered dreams of others. Some Americans who preach nonviolence abroad fail to practice it here at home. Some who accuse others of inciting riots have by their own conduct invited riots themselves. Some look for scapegoats, others look for conspiracies, but this is much is clear. Violence simply breeds violence. Repression brings retaliation, and only a cleaning of our whole society can remove this sickness from our soul. So the last few sentences there, I thought, were some good launching off points for us in the next bit of silence and meditation. The cleaning of our whole society can remove this sickness of violence from our soul. But we must start at home. It is easy to scapegoat another person or an organization, to scapegoat history, to see conspiracy amongst factions or groups of people. But the most important thing is to recognize where we tolerate violence within our own hearts and minds, where we celebrate, as Robert F. Kennedy said, the swagger of force. So I invite you to just simply take those thoughts and these words, not trying to convince you of anything, other than think of allowing yourself to be with all of these feelings and thoughts and awareness within yourself as a means of cleansing yourself a little bit of anything that may indwell in you, anything that may be a remnant of frustration and rage and anger within you. Just simply welcome an awareness, and then we'll close our time with a prayer of peace. If you find yourself unsettled at any time, simply return to a deep breath in and out. And so we go silent for a few moments. Wherever your mind may be, simply take a deep breath, and as you exhale, allow yourself to simply observe your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions for the next few minutes. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. And the third one in and out. And allow yourself to become aware of what you just sat with, what you just allowed yourself to think, feel, and experience was of benefit to you. It was a cleansing, it was an awareness, it was a releasing of any and all connections you may have to violence in the world, how it may charge us into a space of our own rageful or anger thinking that is not productive, that is more out of spite. And as we sit in that awareness, we are being of service not only to our own consciousness, but we are doing something to send love to Charleston. We are doing something to anchor ourselves a little bit deeper in something more than what we can see and what other people do, that allows us to step out into the world free, free to love, free to give, free to receive, free to laugh, free to cry, free to simply be all of who we are. And so I thank you for being on this call. I thank you for your work and practice and willingness. And I invite you to call forward again your personal intention for being on this call and allow that to fuse with the gift that you have given to the world, the gift of peace, the gift of love, the gift of courage, the gift of wisdom. For what I recognize here and now is that there is something always just beneath the surface of this world that we all bump around in. And I do like to call it wisdom. And it is something that is seeking to access us when it needs to at the right moment. And I know that there has been some wisdom of love, wisdom of peace, wisdom of courage, wisdom of something that has come forward tonight as me, as you, as our collective time together, and I'm grateful for it. So we release this sacred time of practice, but not dropping it down, we carry it with us into the activity of the rest of our evening or day, whenever we may be listening or watching this call. Knowing that we are anchored in truth, we are anchored in our heart's intentions and desires, that we are anchored in God, divine love, intelligence. And for that, I am truly grateful. So we let it go, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. So I'm grateful for those of you still on the call for being here. And I also video recorded this call to give some people some insight into what the experience was like. So I invite and thank you for if you've watched this call tonight. We do this every Wednesday at 7:30 Central Standard Time, the same phone number always. Information can be found out. You can find me on Facebook under Daryl Jones, or same handle on Twitter. The phone number is always 530-881-1200 with an access code of 431735. Peace and blessings to you. I'm so grateful that you were on the call, and I'll stay on the line for another minute or so if anyone wants to say hello or give any sort of feedback from their experience tonight. Wonderful. Thanks. All right. Take care, Barbara. Bye-bye. So that's the call. I had one person with me tonight, which was more than enough. I've done it by myself, but I always record it and share the audio on my Facebook page, on my Twitter page, on my my blog, and also on my website. You can access it as well. darrelljones.weebly.com. It's all one word, DARRELL.WEEBLY.com, COM. Thank you for being on this call, whether you watched it live or not, or if you're watching a recording. Thank you, and I hope to see you next week. We do this every single Wednesday. Peace and blessings to you. Take care.